I've been raving about XR glasses lately. They completely gel with my lifestyle. They pack tremendous capabilities and value, and today we're visiting one of the most prominent options on the market. Hi, I'm Clef and you're watching Game Tech Talk. For Black Friday, you will experience up to 47% discounts following the link down below. So if you're interested in picking up a pair, make sure to look down there to get your own. Today, we're diving into XR glasses, and what better options than the RayNeo Air 2S, featuring one of the coolest designs on the market. First, I want to thank RayNeo for sending these in for review. Please know that while I retain all creative rights and every opinion is mine, I did provide a script ahead of time to make sure that no mistakes was inserted when looking at specs alone. Beyond that, I am encouraged to speak freely and honestly, which I have. But before we continue, a quick word from today's sponsor, UGREEN. UGREEN is back at it with its ever-growing lines of products, and this time they're giving your iPhones the Uno treatment. Check out these MagSafe wireless chargers. Sporting 10,000 mAh battery capacity, it provides up to 15-watt wireless or 20 watts wired using the USB-C port, enough to keep your iPhone powered through an entire busy day. No need to stop and charge. Use the kickstand to prop it up and the USB-C port to charge your battery bank or charge another device. It's up to you. 15 watt is not enough? Trade the wireless charging for this 30-watt variant. Fast charge your device with the attached USB-C cable, or use one of the 2 extra ports, or why not all 3 at once? Not enough ports for your Steam Deck? Featuring 2 data USB-Cs and 1 for power delivery, an HDMI port and 2 USB-As, this 6-in-1 Uno USB-C hub has got your back, all while giving your electronics the treatment and care they deserve. Do it in fashion with UGREEN Uno's amazing selection of products. Links in the description. As I put specs on screen, I'll have cherry-picked some of the key components of this device for me to correlate with my impressions and review of the product. Starting with the build and components, the glasses feature a light and flexible frame and can be moved in a variety of positions and flexibility. The glasses are really malleable to the point that it was a surprise. It definitely makes them easy to accommodate to any type of face, but it also makes taking them off and on more pleasant than most glasses, XR and regular alike. The glasses have 4 speakers, 2 on each side, facing both up and down. This is a defining aspect of this product. I can't claim to have tried every option on the market. These speakers are extremely good. If you are familiar, they reminded me of the Valve Index, which, if you know, you know. For those who don't, it is a massive compliment. They pack a considerable amount of bass. The oomph is definitely present while retaining very good clarity and imaging. Using them to meditate to low hertz audio is an amazing way to showcase just how competent these speakers are. No one buys XR glasses for speakers, but no judgment there if you do. Now, the right arm has a USB-C at the tip where you insert a video and audio supported USB-C to USB-C cable, which they supply with your purchase. It's as easy as you'd think. Plug one end in your glasses and the other end goes into your phone, your tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, Rogue Ally, Lenovo Legion Go, you name it. While talking about USB, while not limited to, using the supply cable is ideal. It's light and has a 45-degree-ish connector to prevent tilting of the glasses, something that definitely occurs with heavier cables. I do wish it was braided to be even lighter, but overall it's definitely not one of those heavy dense cables either. Back to connections. The one common device that requires hardware assistance to work is the Nintendo Switch. I should point out that this is a limitation of the game console itself, not the glasses, but RayNeo does have an optional bot accessory to help with that, which they sent for me to talk about later during this review. By now you'll know that the glasses do not require charging and do not have batteries in them. The little power needed is supplied from your host device. The one you'll need to have on you all the time is the cable. Thanks to the spacious included carry pouch, it's pretty much impossible not to carry one with you at all times, including the Pocket TV, more on that later. Now for the rest of the frame, you'll also have buttons, some of which will be dedicated to lowering and increasing brightness up to 10 levels precisely, more on that in a second, and 2 more for lowering and increasing volume or navigating the menu, which can be activated with this 5th button. You may have missed that spec when it was on screen listed at the beginning, but these glasses can go up to 5,000 nits of brightness. To put things in perspective, this almost matches the brightness of the sky in broad daylight, which means that even on a sunny day sitting on the pavement, as long as you are not facing directly at the sun, which you shouldn't do anyway, you'll always be able to bring enough brightness to experience the glasses. But at nighttime, this is searing bright, so with 10 level brightness adjustment, you can bring it down to a more appropriate level, a must-have on XR glasses. The menu is very simple to navigate. And now for the hard part of this review, let's talk about what happens when using them. First, you'll see the screen come up on the glasses, and if you've never experienced this, it's what is extremely hard to illustrate. An image is worth 1,000 words, as they say. In a nutshell, it's the equivalent of having a huge floating screen in front of you that follows your every head movement. One that can be super bright, super colorful, and super crisp thanks to 2 Sony OLED panels, one for each eye, that effectively creates the illusion of a 201-inch screen sitting at 6-meter distance. Now, I do wish to address some potential confusion. If you are shopping for this model or competing ones, for the most part, they have the same viewing size when wearing them, but marketing does create different narratives. 201-inch at 6 meters is pretty much the same as 135-inch at 3 meters, and in both regards they appear larger than the 75-inch TV that I have sitting at 2 meters from. Another way to evaluate how big it is if you were to put an iPhone Max at 8.6 inch of your face, but what is in the glasses feel much bigger in viewing experience, as it occupies more of your field of view. And because it doesn't feel as small, readability and details will appear clearer in the glasses than sticking your phone this close to your face. Now, one thing I can say about the RayNeo Air 2S versus other models that I tried is that the screen sits slightly higher in the glasses, even if sitting at identical height of my nose bridge. And admittedly, it took me using the Air 2S to realize that it was more comfortable with the screen being higher. I would best describe it as having eyes looking more forward, as if at neutral position. It's not like alternatives are not usable, they are perfectly manageable, but nonetheless, RayNeo's solution does do it better. The RayNeo have what I would consider to be a more fashionable style, and I think one of the reasons is that it retains a superior balance when considering the construction of the frame and how the glasses and screen are attached to it. That said, the Air 2S have pretty tinted glasses that blocks a lot of light, but not all of it, and I find them to be perfectly usable outside, but if trying to watch with a light spot in front of your eyes, you may find yourself distracted by it. I have no intentions of walking around with the glasses. That is why I prefer putting back the stickers that they came shipped with. It protects and it also blocks light. A win-win as far as I'm concerned. Now, before we continue to dive in the experience of the product, when on the menu, you have a whisper mode, which will turn certain audio frequencies down to prevent casting more audio to your vicinity. It allows you to hear about as well while drastically reducing the risks of bothering or waking up people around you. Now, to be honest, I expected marketing BS, but after testing it, the difference is notable. I don't feel the need to reach for earbuds as much when in bed next to my sleeping wife. It's that much of a difference. Mind you, it probably helps that my wife sleeps with white noise, but I wouldn't be surprised if, despite that most people wouldn't wake up. And with that said, in complete silence, where you are solely focusing on picking up whatever audio is coming out of the frame, would someone laying next to you be able to pick it up? I would say they would. Another feature is the ability to change color science to one of 3 options. There isn't much else to say about this other than it'll depend on your own preference, maybe based off of how you perceive colors and the content you are consuming. Personally, I like Vibrant the most. It's bright, colorful, and packs a visual punch. Think an AMOLED screen on most Android flagship phones. The 2 other options are a bit more neutral and muted. Lastly, when plugging the glasses, it defaults to 60 Hz, but if you are gaming on a 120 Hz handheld, console, or computer, you can activate the 120 Hz feature through the menu for silky smooth 120 FPS goodness. Let's not forget, as this is OLED, yes, we get the blacks and vibrant colors, but for us gamers, we also get top tier response time, and let me tell you, it shows. I played a bit of everything since having those. Lately, I've been plowing through Mario and Luigi Brotherhood. I watched some Netflix and YouTube on my phone, did some Call of Duty Mobile with one of my trusty telescopic controllers. I tried editing with those as well, no problems at all, which was amazing to experience as I will be using them to edit during my trip to CES in January. I really can't speak highly enough to how cool this is on a long day of work, just wanting to unwind laying down. No strain on my neck, no strain on my back, uninterrupted relaxation, no need to keep my arms up to hold a phone or a handheld, pure bliss. And that sums up the experience, but it can be pushed further. I did mention the JoyDock. Now, to use these glasses for console gaming, you'll need one of those, at least for Switch. On PlayStation or Xbox, an HDMI to Type-C adapter will do. You may also need one if you're USB-C in your computer or if your laptop does not support video out, though that would be fairly uncommon nowadays. As per RayNeo's documentation, they suggest you to reach to them if in need of an HDMI cable, but I would assume that most aftermarket adapters will just work. Now, back to the JoyDock. We don't need to spend too much time talking about it, but let's quickly go over what it does and my experience using it. In a nutshell, it's this box that comes with an attachment that you can put to the back of your Switch, and also with a small cable to connect your Switch to the JoyDock. As implied by the name, it will act as would the dock of a Switch, using an integrated battery to supply the extra power that the Switch requires when docked. All that's left is to plug your glasses in the JoyDock, and voila. It works extremely well, no anomalies, and the thing I like with this option versus some other ones is that you can supply power to the dock through USB-C rather than having the ability to plug a second pair of glasses. Considering XR glasses are a solo experience, I find the odds in favor of the charging capability to likely be of better use. Now, maybe gaming is not your cup of tea. Just know they also sell a device called the Pocket TV, which is essentially a remote control that you tether your glasses to, and on top of being a remote control, it is also a Google TV Chromecast. Unfortunately, I do not have this device to show you, but it is exactly as described, a pocket Google TV to cast your favorite shows or even to wirelessly cast other devices onto it like your Mac or PC. I'll leave a convenience link in the description in case you want to read the listing on Amazon. It gives you the details you need, and it's exactly what you now know it to be. As mentioned earlier, you can stick it neatly in your travel pouch to have it on you at all times. I'm ready to move towards my conclusion, and for me to do that, I must address the few cons I found. The first is the placement of the USB-C. While cable of the tether won't be a problem itself, there are instances where the cable gets in the way. I've been contemplating ideas to mitigate that issue, and one that came to mind is a 90-degree USB-C adapter, which would allow me to have the cable to the side instead. I have yet to try it, and to be honest, I might not bother, but I'd be curious to know if it would make cable management somewhat better. The other con, which honestly I'm listing because it seems to be a common issue for many, but before I do wish to point out that it is not one for me. Some people report that corners lose sharpness. I did address that when previously reviewing a competitor brand, but I had noticed that the blur would go away after 10 to 15 minutes of viewing, as if my sight would adjust. It's no different here, except I find the time is now cut in half with the RayNeo Air 2S. I still believe our eyes need a moment to adjust, and once they do, it's crystal clear. The last con is, much like other XR glasses, protecting these are not simple, which is why in most of my footage you've seen the sticker in front of them. I don't see value in seeing through the glasses as much as I see protecting them from dust, micro scratches, etc. In a perfect world, I'd prefer to have films that can be put over or a shield of some kind, something that a competitor offers, but not this one. So to keep my mind at ease, the sticker remains on. In another review I made, I addressed the input aspect of XR glasses. You have a screen strapped to your face. Operating that screen is not as simple when looking at a phone or a handheld, or a laptop. But the reality is that the Pocket Google TV exists for that very reason. This is not a con here, but rather something to keep in mind as it'll cost you extra. And for my conclusion, between my first XR glasses review and this one, I really took some time to see what the general consensus was, because I've been loving these XR glasses to the point that I'm questioning if I'm the crazy one. I have found that it is generally very positive and extremely well received. And if I had to vote for one category in tech that is most likely to experience massive adoption rates in the next 5 years, it would be XR glasses at the absolute top, especially if these can go down in price to tap into more price points. What they brought to the world is an extremely compelling solution, and one I got to admit has impressive advantages. Top tier quality audio, added comfort, eye-level panels, whisper mode, easy to navigate menu, and overall, at least for me, quicker set time to full view and clarity. And again, I want to thank RayNeo for sending these out for review. I can't recommend this enough, and in my opinion, anyone should try a pair of those. As always, please consider doing all the YouTube things. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.